As the director of Spider and Jessie, tell me about the film.
Well, this film was something that has been gestating for a while. I've been, for many, many years, very interested in the collateral damage caused by addiction. My family, like countless of other families, have been impacted by addiction. And while there have been so many terrific films and novels and documentaries about addiction where it's often through the point of view of the addict, I was really interested in telling a story about what's left in the addict's wake, the family, the friends, the loved ones. And when having that sort of as germ of an idea, something that I really wanted to explore, I came upon an article about opioid orphans. And it all kind of just clicked for me that this, it's not something you think about. Well, of course, you have this horrific epidemic of addiction that obviously that's going to impact kids all over the place because their parents will either be incapacitated or dead. And that you'll have just all these kids who because of addiction, don't have parents. And when I read that article, I felt immediately like that is the way to tell this story, the story about the collateral damage caused from addiction. And I went on a terrific research trip with a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. Her name is Julia Keller, and we interviewed folks throughout West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky, which was a community particularly impacted by the opioid crisis. And we just met folks impacted from all sides. We met law enforcement, we met families who had lost loved ones. We did an incredible roundtable with caseworkers whose jobs were specifically working with kids who had lost their parents through addiction. And just accumulated all these experiences through all these folks that we were talking to, and was able to sort of synthesize that into the script that became Spider and Jessie, and that was the genesis of it.
Quite an undertaking. Jessie, what drew you to this project?
The script. The script was incredible. There was no other context. I didn't know Dan or didn't have a particular connection to the opioid crisis. I'm from Chicago in the crack era. I definitely had a connection to growing up around addiction of a different sort, a sort, frankly, that was that drew more the ire of the public as opposed to the support in some ways. And being able to read something kind of blankly that just blew my mind. I never forget. I was talking to Fernanda earlier about sitting on my couch reading this script dry and being so riveted. That I knew I had to be a part of it, and I could see it. You could see the film and reading it, and from then on, Dan and I sat down, and I was hooked. So, like all things in this business, it really starts with the writer, and so this was about the material.
Absolutely. Do you feel this film has changed your perception of opioid addiction?
It's everything colors everything in, so all information is useful. So absolutely, it gave us the opportunity to humanize the experience and people further. I think what we do is important work. It is the lens through which people take statistics off the page and put them in human form and have a breathing and a beating heart to it. So all these actors really blew me away in the work that they've created and be able to illustrate Dan's words.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Talk about your role in it.
So Jessie is a very resilient little girl. She goes through so much, but no matter what happens, somehow she always gets back up. And she's still a kid and she's going through all these adult problems. And I feel like, no matter what the world throws at her, she stays happy. And, she has her sister to thank for that. And McKenna Grace played Spider. And, Spider's a bit of a mom to her also. So even though she has lost her mom, she still has somebody to look up to. And she's kind of getting mixed messages about her mom because she's telling herself that her mom is going to go to heaven and she's okay and that she was just sick. But her sister is saying that she was a bad person. And so she has to figure out what to think of her mom now.
That's quite a role for you to take on.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
It's a lot of fun though.
Can you talk about your role?
Sure, I play Jen. I am Malia's mom and Jessie's wife. And I think in a way I really felt like we represent the people, the helpers, right? Like the people around when something as tragic and horrific as addiction in any community happens, or just something extraordinarily difficult that a human being goes through, whether it's a child, in this case specifically children. That was one of the things that the script really hit me in the heart about, that perspective. But here's the people around that are not immune to the impact, to the blow of this, and yet reach out their hand, and I really truly believe that we all have that capacity within us, and it's really beautiful that we get to do that for each other.
Absolutely. And last but not least, talk about your role.
My role, she's Alexis. She is Spider's best friend. Also the daughter of the sheriff in town and the lovely Fernanda. She's kind of been that secondary big sister to Jessie, I feel like, over the years. And I think what I love about this film so much is that it holds a role for everybody when they experience a tragedy, whether that is someone's best friend or their mother or their grandfather or their sibling or their cousin, whatever. Someone's able to relate to a presence that is in the film, and because it is such a hard-hitting topic and one that I feel like involves so much today's community, it just strengthens that bond within each character that we're able to play and represent on screen. So very grateful to be alongside such talented actors and to kind of flourish in that, because you just bounce off one another, and being able to play the best friend in particular it's an honor, truly.
Sounds like it. What a great cast. Wow. Thank you for bringing your film to us. How does it feel to be here at SBIFF?
Oh, this is honestly a dream come true. I'm from New York, but I've lived in LA for almost 20 years. I've been obviously aware of the festival that entire time, and the opportunity to world premiere at a festival as prestigious as SBIFF is I couldn't have asked for anything more. And we had a premiere today. It went phenomenally well. The Riviera Theater is one of the more beautiful theaters I've ever been in.
It is
just stunning. The screen, the sound. I honestly couldn't have asked for more, and I'm grateful to the festival.
Thank you so much for bringing it to us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate all of you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.